Hello. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us today. My name is Donna, and I'm a Senior Account Manager here at Paytient. What's a little different about me is that before I joined the Paytient team, I was a benefits leader and a client who implemented Paytient as part of my employer's benefits package. I know exactly what it's like to be on your side of the table. I know how complex and time-consuming it can be to implement new benefits programs. And I know the thought of integrating a new product into your payroll system surely sounds like a potential headache and an added burden for your team. As someone who has gone through the journey of implementation and using Paytient myself, I'm here to ensure you have a smooth experience every step of the way. Today, I will walk you through exactly what it's like to launch Paytient to your employees. The people you meet today are the same individuals behind the scenes that will provide support to your company during implementation and once you go live with Paytient. We believe in making working together easy, and these experts will show you exactly how we integrate seamlessly with your current system without any headaches. We spend about 60 days on an implementation with periodic meetings with your benefits and payroll teams. We'll sync up goals and expectations, highlight action items and next steps, address any outstanding questions or issues, and confirm the progress we are both making towards completing implementation prior to launch. We'll also share our communication plan and provide you with all the materials you will need to educate your employees about Paytient. Through it all, we're working behind the scenes to ensure a successful launch. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Jeremy Duval, a product manager with Paytient.
Hi everyone, I'm excited to give you an overview of how we'll share data on an ongoing basis to make sure your employees have an amazing experience with Paytient. Today, we're going to talk through two key processes. First, we'll talk through eligibility. This is how you will tell Paytient who is actually eligible for the Paytient benefit. Then, we'll talk through payroll. On the eligibility front, we need you, the employer, to tell us who is eligible for the Paytient benefit before your members can sign up. As the employer, it will be your responsibility to provide eligibility through a census file to Paytient on a weekly or at minimum monthly basis. This ensures that new hires, for example, have access to Paytient as soon as possible. We have the option for manually adding or editing members, manually uploading eligibility files, and automated file feed integrations. Once you provide us with eligibility information, your employees can download the Paytient app and sign up. They'll get access immediately to a digital card they can use for eligible purchases. As they begin to use their Paytient card and set repayment plans, payroll becomes important. Payroll deduction is a critical part of the Paytient experience. Simply put, it's the easiest and smoothest way for an employee to make payments on their Paytient card. They don't have to worry about setting up autopay or remembering to make a payment. It just works. And we've heard firsthand from employees about how magical it feels. To facilitate the payroll deduction process, you'll receive two pieces of information from Paytient. Ahead of each payroll date, you'll receive a unique deduction file for each of your payroll schedules. This is how we'll communicate to you what needs to be requested from employee paychecks as one-time post-tax deductions. After each payroll date, we ask you to provide us with an actual withholdings file. This confirms back to Paytient what was actually withheld from employee paychecks. That's a quick overview of the two key processes required to make the Paytient program run smoothly. Back to you, Donna.
Thanks, Jeremy. Now I'd like to introduce you to Katie McDonough, the queen of our payroll team. Katie's team is the link between Paytient and your employees.
When walking through the payroll process, it's important to understand first where the employee deduction amounts are coming from. This all starts when an employee uses their Paytient card. We'll walk through an example with a fictitious employee, Kelly. Imagine Kelly goes to the doctor and pays $100 for her visit using her Paytient card. Once she swipes her card, she is prompted to select a repayment plan in the Paytient app. She chooses to break up that $100 transaction over 5 paychecks. Ahead of Kelly's next paycheck, Paytient will send you a deduction file letting you know that $20 needs to be withheld. Kelly only has one transaction in this example, but let's imagine that she had more. When an employee has multiple transactions, each transaction will have a custom repayment plan. However, all transactions for that employee will be consolidated into one deduction amount per pay period. To emphasize this point again, Paytient will only ever send you a single aggregate value to be deducted for each employee. Back to our example, after you've processed Kelly's payroll, you'll confirm the $20 withholding through the actual withholdings file Jeremy mentioned previously. We'll then record Kelly's payment so it'll be reflected in her app. Finally, Paytient will send you a deduction invoice for that $20 that was deducted from Kelly's paycheck. The payment of that deduction invoice is simply a transfer of funds from the employee to you and back to Paytient to repay that outstanding balance. Now that we've covered a bit more about the payroll process, I will pass it back to Donna. Donna?
Here I am. Thanks, Katie. Last but certainly not least is Aaron Willis from our product technical support team. Aaron and his team are here to support you, whether they are helping to set up the initial census or payroll file integration, troubleshooting any random issues after you've launched, or even assisting with new file feeds you may need created due to changing or adding a new payroll vendor or benefits administration platform.
Thanks for the introduction, Donna. As Jeremy mentioned, there are a few ways you can provide eligibility and payroll information to Paytient. First, everyone will have access to the Paytient Operations Portal, or the POP. Through this portal, you can add or edit members, manage payroll, upload census files, and view patient-related metrics for your population. For those that prefer a more automated implementation, we also offer Secure File Transfer Protocol, or SFTP-based integrations. With this method, we can help you configure your payroll system to send and receive eligibility and payroll reports. Once an SFTP integration is configured, it will run fully automated in the background. Regardless of whether you choose to use the POP or set up an SFTP integration, we'll work with you to configure report formats, set up necessary access, and test the system end-to-end. Then we're ready to go live.
It's been a pleasure to showcase some of our talented team members and how they will help make Paytient the easiest benefit you'll ever implement. And I know from my own experience, once Paytient is available to your employees, they will be able to take advantage of making their healthcare more affordable and more accessible. And that's our ultimate goal.